Chicago, the windy city, comes alive when the sun sets and the night takes over. Imagine standing high above the ground, looking at a sea of glowing lights stretching as far as the eye can see. In the center of it all rises the iconic Willis Tower, once known as the Sears Tower, standing tall like a guardian of the city. Its dark silhouette shines against the night sky, while thousands of lights flicker below, reflecting beautifully on the calm waters of Lake Michigan. The beauty of Chicago at night is more than just its skyline. Each light tells a story. Stories of hardworking people, of dreams being chased, and of a city that never truly sleeps. The streets below are alive with movement. Cars rushing, trains passing, people enjoying music, food, and laughter. Chicago has always been a city of resilience. From the Great Fire of 1871, which destroyed much of the city, to rebuilding itself stronger and grander, it has always stood back up with pride. Looking at the aerial night view, you can almost feel the heartbeat of Chicago. Grid-like streets sparkle like veins of gold, carrying the lifeblood of this mighty city. And then there's LakeMichigan.com and vast, reflecting the shimmering skyline. The meeting of nature and man-made brilliance makes this site unforgettable. Chicago is not just about tall buildings. It's about culture, history, and spirit. Jazz music floating in the air, deep-dish pizza shops buzzing with laughter, and architectural wonders blending the past with the future. From above, all of it unites into one breathtaking view, a city glowing like a jewel in the night. This is Chicago after dark, city of lights, dreams, and endless possibilities. As the day slowly fades and the sun begins to set, Chicago transforms into a masterpiece painted in gold. The skyline, famous for its bold and powerful architecture, glows warmly under the final rays of sunlight. Each skyscraper seems alive, bathed in shades of orange and red, standing proudly as if telling their own stories. The Willis Tower, the John Hancock Center, and dozens of other tall giants reflect the sun's farewell, creating a sight so breathtaking that it feels almost unreal. Far in the distance, the Navy Pier adds to this magical scene. Its Ferris wheel spins slowly, a symbol of joy and celebration, reminding us that Chicago is not just about work and business, but also about life, laughter, and unforgettable moments. Families, tourists, and locals gather there to watch the sunset, each capturing their own piece of beauty with cameras or simply in their hearts. The Chicago River, weaving its way through the city, shines like liquid gold under the evening light. Boats move gently, and bridges stand tall, all becoming part of this living painting. You can hear the hum of the city begin to change, rush, hour fading. Nightlife preparing to wake. Chicago has always been a city of resilience, a place where history and modern life blend together. From the days of the Great Fire to today's bustling metropolis, the skyline at sunset is more than just a beautiful view. It's a symbol of strength, renewal, and progress. For many, this moment when the golden light touches the skyscrapers is the time when Chicago shows its true character. A city that works hard in the day but glows with beauty and soul as the sun sets. Looking at it, you realize why Chicago is called the heart of America. Its golden skyline, with the Ferris wheel spinning and the lake shimmering, is a reminder that every ending can also be a beginning. When night falls in Chicago, there is one sign that outshines them all: the glowing red marquee of the historic Chicago Theater. With its bold letters spelling out the city's name, it has become more than just a theater. It is an icon, a landmark, and a symbol of Chicago's cultural heartbeat. Standing on North State Street, its magnificent building has welcomed generations of visitors since it first opened in 1901. As the neon lights blaze against the dark sky, the streets around it come alive. People walk past with excitement in their eyes, some heading inside for a show, others simply admiring the bright sign that has lit up the city for over a century. Cars rush by, their headlights blending with the theater's glow, while the sound of laughter and chatter fills the evening air. It feels like stepping into a scene from a movie, where the past and present dance together in harmony. The Chicago Theater is not just about entertainment. It tells a story of resilience and pride, built during a golden age of performance. Its survived the changing decades when many historic theaters were torn down. Its French Baroque-style architecture, grand lobby, and iconic sign make it one of the most photographed places in the city. Tourists stop, point their cameras, and capture the magic, while locals smile. Knowing that this theater belongs to them, it is part of their identity inside. The stage has seen everything from silent films and jazz performances to world-class concerts and comedy shows. It is a place where dreams have been performed, where history has been made, and where the spirit of Chicago shines brightest. Looking at the glowing sign at night, you realize why it has become a symbol of the city itself, bold, vibrant, and unforgettable. The Chicago Theater is not just a building. It is the heart of Chicago's nightlife, a beacon calling people to come together, celebrate, and enjoy the art of living. High above the heart of Chicago lies one of the city's most beloved treasures, Millennium Park. From the air, it looks like a green jewel set against the steel and glass of towering skyscrapers. At its center shines the world-famous Cloud Gate, sculpture known lovingly as the Bean. Its smooth, mirror-like surface reflects the blue sky, the skyline, and the thousands of people who gather here each day. The Bean is more than just a sculpture, it's a symbol of modern Chicago. Created by artist Anish Kapoor, it quickly became one of the most photographed landmarks in the world. Visitors walk up to it, touch it, and smile as they see their own reflections twist and bend in its polished steel. Laugh at the funny shapes. Others stand quietly, lost in thought, as they see themselves surrounded by the city. Millennium Park itself is a masterpiece of design and culture. It's not just a park, but a gathering place, an open-air stage where the city shows its creative spirit. On summer nights, music fills the air as crowds gather on the lawn to watch concerts beneath the famous J. Pritzker Pavilion. In winter, the park transforms into a wonderland with skating rinks and festive lights. Every season, Millennium Park tells a new story. From above, you can see how perfectly the park blends with the city around it. The tall skyscrapers stand as guardians, while the open green spaces provide a place of rest and joy for everyone. It is a reminder that even in the busiest of cities, there is always room for art, for nature, and for people to come together. Cloud Gate, shining like a silver drop under the sky, reflects not just faces, but the soul of Chicago itself, city. Strong, creative, and always moving forward. For visitors, it's a memory to carry forever. For Chicagoans, it's a symbol of pride. This is Millennium Park, where the past, present, and future of Chicago come together in one shining reflection. As the sun dips below the horizon, Chicago's Riverwalk awakens with a beauty that feels almost magical. The waters of the Chicago River shimmer like liquid glass, reflecting the golden and silver lights of skyscrapers that line the banks. Boats glide gently beneath historic bridges, their ripples creating patterns of light that dance across the river's surface. The Riverwalk is more than just a path along the water. It is a living, breathing space where the soul of the city reveals itself. In the evening, families stroll hand in hand, couples laugh softly, and tourists stop to capture photos of the glittering skyline. Street musicians strum guitars, filling the air with music that blends perfectly with the sound of water lapping against stone. Cafes and restaurants along the edge glow warmly, inviting people to sit, relax, and enjoy the view. Each bridge tells its own story. Some are over a century old, built during a time when Chicago was rising as a hub of industry and trade. Watching the boats slip beneath them feels like stepping back in time, connecting today's modern city with its proud past. The architecture surrounding the river is a marvel of its own, classic stone buildings standing beside gleaming glass towers, both reflecting in the water as if competing for attention. The Riverwalk is also a symbol of renewal. Years ago, the river was seen as industrial, polluted, and forgotten. But Chicago, known for its resilience, transformed it into one of the city's most cherished landmarks. Today, it is proof that with vision and determination, even something once overlooked can become a place of beauty and pride in the evening glow. As lights twinkle and boats drift by, The Riverwalk captures the essence of Chicago. It is a place where the city's history, culture, and modern life meet, where strangers become friends, and where every step tells a story. This is Chicago at twilight, a city reflected in its river, alive with energy, history, and heart. Winter in Chicago is like stepping into a different world. A bustling city, usually full of movement and sound, slows down under a soft blanket of snow. Skyscrapers rise proudly into the icy sky, their glass windows reflecting the pale winter sun. Streets glisten with snow, and the edges of Lake Michigan freeze into sheets of crystal, blending seamlessly with the horizon. From above, the city looks like a painting, white, silver, and calm. But behind the stillness lies a city alive with spirit. Smoke rises gently from rooftops, carrying with it the warmth of homes, restaurants, and shops where people gather to escape the cold. The laughter of children echoes from snow-covered parks, where snowmen stand tall as proud creations of playful hands. The L trains rumble across their elevated tracks, cutting through the frosty air, reminding everyone that Chicago never truly sleeps even in the harshest winter. Winter has always been part of Chicago's identity. This is the city that faces blizzards and freezing winds with determination, earning it the famous nickname, the Windy City. Yet for those who live here, winter is not just about survival. It's about tradition and joy. Ice skating at Millennium Park, sipping hot chocolate while watching the snow fall, and walking down Michigan Avenue lit with twinkling holiday lights, all of it makes Chicago in winter feel like magic for visitors. The frozen lakefront is unforgettable. The vastness of Lake Michigan, partly frozen and partly flowing, mirrors the city's resilience, a mix of strength and beauty. The skyline rising above the icy shores becomes a symbol of endurance. Chicago in winter teaches us something deeper, that even in the coldest and toughest times, there is warmth, life, and hope. The snow may cover the streets, but it cannot cover the energy, creativity, and passion of this city. This is Chicago in winter, frozen on the outside, but burning brightly with life within. Chicago is a city where history and modernity stand shoulder to shoulder, and nowhere is this more visible than in its architecture. Walking through the streets, you can see the proud brick buildings of the past, solid, detailed, and full of character, standing right beside sleek glass skyscrapers that seem to touch the clouds. It feels like a conversation between generations, the old telling stories of resilience, and the new whispering dreams of the future. This blend is not by accident. After the Great Fire of 1871, much of Chicago had to be rebuilt from the ground up. Architects saw this not as a tragedy, but as an opportunity. They experimented, innovated, and created bold designs that would change the world. Chicago became the birthplace of the skyscraper, and since then, it has never stopped reaching higher. Yet the city never forgot its roots. The historic brick and stone buildings remind us of a time when craftsmanship was about detail, when every brick was laid with pride. These structures carry the stories of immigrants, workers, and communities who built Chicago with their own hands. They are a living memory of the city's struggle and triumph. Beside them stand modern towers of steel and glass, shining in the sunlight by day and glowing like stars by night. These skyscrapers represent progress, ambition, and a city always looking forward. Together, they create a skyline unlike any other one that is both a museum of history and a laboratory of the future. Chicago's architecture is more than just buildings, it is identity. It shows the world that strength and beauty can coexist, that tradition and innovation can stand side by side without conflict. For visitors, it is breathtaking. For Chicagoans, it is pride. As you gaze at the old and new together, you realize that this is what makes Chicago timeless, a city that honors its past while boldly embracing tomorrow. Looking up from the streets of Chicago, one building seems to pierce the sky itself, the mighty Willis Tower, known for decades as the Sears Tower. From below, it rises like a giant of steel and glass, its black frame cutting into the clouds, making you feel both small and inspired at the same time. This is not just a skyscraper. It is a symbol of human ambition, of Chicago's spirit to rise higher no matter the challenge. Completed in 1973. The Willis Tower held the title of the tallest building in the world for nearly 25 years, standing at 1,450 feet with 110 stories. It became a landmark not only for the city, but for the entire world. Its bold design, with bundled steel tubes that give it strength and grace, reflects Chicago's reputation as the birthplace of modern skyscrapers. But beyond its height, the Willis Tower represents something greater. It embodies the dream of Chicago after the Great Fire, a dream to rebuild bigger and better, to become a city that others would look up to literally and figuratively. From its sky deck, visitors can step onto a glass box extending out into the air, looking straight down at the streets below. It is both thrilling and terrifying, a reminder of how far human imagination can go. On cloudy days, the top of the tower disappears into the mist, as if it belongs to the heavens. On clear nights, it glows against the dark sky, a beacon guiding the city. For Chicagoans, it is more than just a building, it is part of their identity. For visitors, it is an unforgettable sight that captures the essence of Chicago's boldness. Standing below, as you crane your neck to see its top vanish into the clouds, you cannot help but admire the vision that made it possible. The Willis Tower is not just about height. It is about the courage to dream, to build, and to rise above limits. This is Chicago reaching for the sky. Autumn in Chicago is a season of beauty, warmth, and change. As you walk through the city streets, the trees turn into shades of gold, orange, and red, painting the city in colors that feel like a living artwork. The crisp breeze carries the scent of fallen leaves, and the sidewalks crunch softly beneath every step. This is the time when Chicago slows down just enough for you to notice its charm above the streets. The classic L train rattles across its elevated tracks, sound that is as much a part of the city as the wind from Lake Michigan. The train moves past trees glowing with autumn colors, a perfect blend of nature and city life. For locals, this is the daily rhythm of Chicago, fast-paced yet comforting. For visitors, it is an unforgettable sight, capturing the soul of the city in one moment. Autumn also brings life to the neighborhoods. Cafes spill with people sipping hot coffee, enjoying the cool air, and watching the golden leaves dance in the wind. Markets sell pumpkins and seasonal treats, while children laugh and run through the leaves piled high on the sidewalks. A reminder that Chicago is not only about skyscrapers and landmarks, but also about the everyday beauty of its streets. This season carries a sense of reflection. Just as the leaves change, so does the city prepare for the cold winter ahead. But in these golden weeks, everything feels alive and full of color. The elevated trains above, the bustling people below, and the glowing trees around create a scene that feels both timeless and magical. Chicago in autumn is a city in harmony, where nature's beauty meets urban strength, where change is not feared but celebrated. It is a reminder that even in a busy metropolis, there is always space for moments of peace, beauty, and golden light. This is autumn in Chicago, vibrant, fleeting, and unforgettable. Dawn in Chicago is not just the beginning of a new day, it's a breathtaking scene that feels like a dream. From above, the city slowly awakens under a blanket of soft mist drifting across Lake Michigan. The water glows faintly as the first rays of sunlight break through, painting the horizon with gentle shades of pink, orange, and gold. Out of the clouds rise the skyscrapers, their tops glowing as if they are touching the morning sky. The city is quiet in this moment. Streets that will soon be filled with cars and people lie almost empty. Boats rest silently in the harbor, and the lake, calm and endless, reflects the awakening sky. The mist moves like a living veil, hiding and revealing parts of the skyline, creating a cinematic view that words can barely capture. The Willis Tower and John Hancock Center stand tall, their silhouettes piercing through the morning fog. It feels as though Chicago is slowly breathing, exhaling the night and inhaling the promise of a new day. For a city that has endured fire, storms, and struggles, dawn is more than a sunrise. It is a symbol of resilience and renewal. From this view, Chicago seems both powerful and peaceful. The energy of the city is still there, waiting to burst into life, but in the soft morning light, it shows a gentler face. Joggers begin to appear along the lakefront path, the first trains roll across the elevated tracks, and the city begins its daily rhythm once more. Chicago at dawn is a reminder of why this city is so special. It is a place of strength and ambition, yet also of beauty and calm. The mist over Lake Michigan, the skyscrapers glowing in the sunrise, and the stillness of the streets together create a picture that feels almost otherworldly. This is Chicago. At the break of day, a city rising with the sun, ready to face the world once again.